Before this video starts, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the J College YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this on audio, make sure to follow the Talking Football podcast. Enjoy. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Jacob Cullip YouTube channel. I am Jacob Cullip, and welcome back to the Talking Football podcast, episode 3 of season 2, and it's the big one. It is time for Premier League predictions, but I'm not alone here today. I've got a familiar face on the podcast and on the channel. We've got Miles. So, Miles, how are we doing?
Yeah, I'm very good. Hello, everyone. Looking forward to it today.
So, what do you think of last year's Premier League?
Well, the Premier League season was good, but my predictions weren't. So,
yeah, I think I went over that on episode 1 of season 2. That wasn't good.
Shocker.
I think we only got 2. I think overall.
Yeah, isn't it? So
that's being generous. But obviously, new season, new predictions, and hopefully some correct predictions. And yeah, so let's show the layout of how the viewers will see here on the channel. Or if you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure to follow on Spotify or your podcast provider and follow the J Cullip YouTube channel here on the video as well. So I share the screen now. This is how we're going to go over today. So we're going to go over one by one of the table. So we see, Arsenal is the only time Arsenal will be top of the league. But so we go down. So Aston Villa, Brentford, etc. We're going to all go down and we're going to go one by one instead of just doing the traditional 20th to first. So let's kick off with the first prediction. Let's kick off with Arsenal. So what do we think of Arsenal?
Well, I put them in 6th place. So I think that'll be a solid season for them. I think they'll take that, and they made some decent signs. They've got obviously Ben White in. I think they've already got a good defense last season. Not a lot of people know they've got the third best defense in the league. So, and also no Europa League distractions, so they don't have to rotate their big players like Saka and Aubameyang. So I think Arsenal will do well this season, but it's Arsenal, so it could also go very badly.
I can understand why you put them 6th, but I've actually gone a little bit of a different prediction for them. I've gone for 5th. That's what I personally think. I also agree with the benefit of no European football. I think that will do them the well of good, as we've seen. It has, especially last year, did disrupt their league season as they finished 8th last year. And obviously, Saka will have more time, so no more continuous games. And then Ben White, who's had no European football experience, that's fantastic for him not coming in and have the impact of European football. Because it can take some time to get used to. But I think Arsenal will have a better season than the past 2 seasons. I think they will finish 5th. And I think Ben White is actually a good signing compared to what people have been saying.
Yeah, I think he's a decent signing. I mean, 50 million. I mean, if they get 4 or 5 years out of him and sell him on for a similar or better price, it's going to look like a good business, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, he's proven in the Premier League and he had a very, very good season with Brighton. So, yeah, it's not a bad signing at all, really.
Who's the player to watch out for Arsenal this season? Who do you think?
I'm probably going to say Saka. Obviously, it was quality last season, but didn't really have as many games as he probably would like because of the Europa League. So maybe he can hit the ground running again this season consistently every week. So that's my pick.
We all hope Saka does well, especially after the horrible abuse he suffered after the Euros, which was just horrible. He's 19 years old, he's still young, he has the world at his feet, and we've seen what he's been doing for the past 2 years in the league. He's been absolutely fantastic. So hope Saka has a good season for Arsenal's sake. Hopefully don't finish in the top 4, not above United, but let's go for that. I think the player to watch out for, I think Aubameyang. That's what I personally think. He scored 10 Premier League goals last season, but compared to the start he had at Arsenal and the season before last, he hasn't looked like himself, really.
He hasn't been that sharp, has he?
No, he always in Liverpool games. I know he scored in Community Shield last year, but he just went miss, especially those standout Liverpool games in the league last year. He just looked so invisible. I just couldn't see him. But people give a lot of stick to Lacazette, but I think Lacazette actually did well last year, in my opinion.
There's Pepe, Aubameyang, Lacazette, all just inconsistent. If they just get a good run together, then Arsenal could really push up the table, I think, because they've got some good players there. And Arteta's he's doing well. He's not been amazing, but I don't think he's done badly so far. But this will be a big season for him, especially in the Europa League. So yeah.
Yeah, so that is Arsenal, and then we're going to go on to the team who are currently in second place. It's Aston Villa, and what a fantastic transfer window they've had, Miles.
Yeah, very, very good. Obviously, lost Jack Grealish for 100 million, but they've really strengthened the likes of Wendy, Ings, and Leon Bailey from the Bundesliga. But they've got a very good, strong squad. And also they've got like Bertrand Traore, El Ghazi. I think they could really do well, and that's why I put them in ninth for Aston Villa.
You put them in ninth, and for the first time today, we have agreed.
Agreed. Oh,
we've agreed. I put Aston.
We don't know each other's predictions, by the way, just so everyone knows.
Not clickbait. But I agree with you. Fantastic signings. I think they knew Grealish was going. Yeah. I think it was pretty obvious what another fantastic season he had last year. Signing Buendia, who's had Premier League experience before with Norwich, that's a good signing. Signing Danny Ings, a proven goal scorer, because although Watkins did well last year, there was games where he was inconsistent and did go on a 5-game not scoring streak. So as good as Watkins is, they do need another striker just in case he is not firing.
Yeah, I think Watkins may play off the left or potentially play as a part of front too. So yeah, they've got a good attack. But the only thing I worry with Villa is it could be a Lukaku Everton situation when they lost him, got a lot of money, but the squad didn't really click. But I don't think that'll happen. But I think that could be a potential concern for Aston Villa. So yeah, we'll have to see how that pans out.
I think one of my players to watch out for is Villa's new sign, Leon Bailey. He's done fantastic in the Bundesliga for Bayern Leverkusen. And yeah, I think, will he hit the ground running? Well, not every player does, but I personally think he will, and I think he'll be a fantastic signing. Who's your player to watch out for Aston Villa?
I was going to say Bailey as well. I think he'll do very well. Very quick winger. I think it'll probably might take a few games, but once he gets adapted to Premier League, I think it'll be a very good signing.
So let's see who's on next on the screen. We have new boys. We have Brentford. What do we think about Brentford, Miles?
Well, maybe people have got them to go down, but I haven't. I've got them going to 16th because I think that they've got a good spirit in the club. They seem like quite motivated, quite hungry. A lot of the players, especially like Steve and Tony, aren't proven in the Premier League, and maybe that will motivate them to really push on and maybe solidify their Premier League status for another season. But yeah, I think Tony will be the talisman, obviously, for the team, and probably carry them up when the quality and maybe defense isn't quite as good as it should be. So they haven't really done a lot of business, but as I say, like the spirit in the squad, I think will be good enough to keep them up.
You put them 16th. It's really, I've really struggled hard with this one because people have been saying they've been going down, staying up. I've put them in 18th place. I think they'll just go down. I don't think they're going to finish bottom. I think they'll have a good season. And I think Ivan Toney will do well, especially Josh Da Silva as well, a very underrated player at Brentford. Thomas Frank, their manager, is a good manager as well. I think he'll do well and potentially get a job in the future at another Premier League club. But it's really hard because I said this with West Brom last year. That went terrible. They've got good players and they have potential to stay up. But I don't want to risk it again, so I'm going to go 18th. That's what I personally think. I think they'll just go down. I think they'll have a good season, but just go down.
Fair enough. Yeah, it could go either way with Brentford. Really, I think it's all just dependent on Tony. Really, if they can keep him fit and keep him scoring, then if he can get 10, 15 goals, they'll probably stay up. But then if he does nothing all season, then they're definitely going to be down. So it depends on him, really, doesn't it?
So the players to watch out for is definitely Ivan Toney that we've agreed with.
Yeah, Toney is the main man for them, and will be their only chance of staying up, I reckon. But I think they'll do it.
I think Josh Da Silva, mentioned Josh Da Silva as well, who was also at Arsenal when he was younger, and I think he could have potentially have a good season, a player to watch out for. So he could do well.
Yeah, could be a strong shout that.
Yep. So that is Brentford. So Miles said
16th.
And I said 18th. I think they'll go down. So we move on to Brighton and Hove Albion. So Brighton and Hove Albion finished 16th last year, I believe. I think they did.
I can't remember.
I can't remember. Feels like ages ago. But Brighton and Hove Albion, I think I'll start off with this one. Okay. I think they'll have a good season. I think they'll finish in their best season ever. I think they'll finish 14th.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the team did click towards the end of the season. They definitely did click last year. We saw Brighton playing really well in the second part of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though they did start the season well, a bit unlucky in the game, especially the Man United game at home last year. They were really unlucky with that. And as I said, they are really unlucky at the start of the season. But then eventually they beat Man City last year. Fantastic performance from them, even though City were down to 10 men. I just think the team finally clicked. Welbeck started firing, but question marks about his fitness. Still unsure about Neil Maupay, but I think they will finish 14th because I think they are better than the teams that above them. I do think they are.
Yeah. Well, I've gone one higher, 13th.
Ooh.
I don't think they'll be, they're the XG kings, aren't they? They'll expect goals scored and conceded, topping the chance in those. But I just don't trust their attacking outlets. They haven't got a new striker, which is a big concern for me. But they got the 50 mil for Ben White. I don't know why it didn't splash. There's reports of them potentially going for Nketiah, Christian Edward from Celtic, but whether they'll get that across the line, I'm not sure. But right now, with their current squad, I don't see them much higher than 13th with their signings. They have signed Mwepu. I don't know how you say that from I think it was Leipzig. Yeah, and he looks like Leipzig or Salzburg, one of the RB clubs. But he looks like a decent signing. But I think Graham Potter will do enough to, as you say, make their best Premier League finish. But it won't be maybe as good as they could have done if they got a striker.
Who's your star player to watch out for Brighton then?
Probably going to say Sanchez in goal. I think it'll be quite key to them doing well. Obviously came in for Matt Ryan last year, but he did well in the second half of last season as he got his place in the team. And I think they'll be quite reliant because their defense is good, but it's leak shots quite a lot. So if he can just nick them points through his saves, then I think that'll be crucial.
Definitely an FPL asset to watch out for.
Not in my team though.
And he's not in your team. We could actually go over that towards the end if we fancied on that. But I've definitely put him in because cheap, reliable. But player to watch out for me, Sanchez is definitely a shout. This is the predictable one, but Lewis Dunk, I think he'll have another great season. The captain of Brighton, one of the top scorers last year, actually, when no one else was firing. Lewis Dunk does pretty well. And I think he's still underrated. Lewis Dunk is still underrated.
Not an English one yet, is he?
He's only a one cap, I think.
He's one cap wonder in a minute, isn't he?
It's just like that. Ben White got the club's player of the season last year, and I just think Ben White is good. Don't get me wrong, but Lewis Dunk is Brighton's best centre back.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, he should have got club player of the season last year. without him, I don't know where they would be half of the time.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
So I said Brighton 14th and Miles said 13th. And now we go on to everyone's favourite club, especially mine. It's Man United's nemesis, is Burnley. Burnley. Bloody Burnley.
Bloody Burnley indeed. What are you going to start?
Oh, yeah, I'll start with this one. You said 13th for Brighton. I've said 13th for Burnley.
Fair enough. Well, what's the reason for that? It's maybe quite high for Burnley.
I know they didn't end the season well last year. Once they got safe, they were on the beach. Get the sandals out, get the slippers, go in the spa, we're fine. But I think Sean Dyche won't be happy with that end of the season last year. And the motivator he is, and I think he'll kick them on for another season in the Premier League. It could be his last. Could be. You'd never know. I think he only has 1 year left on his contract. If someone can find that out for me, put that in the comments. But I think Burnley have another great season. They've got something to play for. As I said, they were on the beach for pretty much the last few games last year, and I think they will finish 13th.
Fair enough. I've gone a bit lower. They're not going to go down, but I think they'll be very, very close to it. 17th. You said that I think he's going to motivate that squad. I'm not sure how long you can motivate it for. I mean, there's a lot of good players in that team, like Chris Wood, Pope, Tarkowski, and me. But how long are these guys going to want to be, in a relegation fight? And they're not going to try and look elsewhere for moves. But yeah, I'm just thinking, how long can Sean Dyche keep these boys up for? And I think they'll be much, much closer. And they haven't really done any business. He never gets any back into Sean Dyche. He's brought in Collins, which is he's centre back. You know, again, they've lost Gibson, but like they're both two signings that two transfers, sorry, that are a bit irrelevant. Really, I don't see how they've really added or lost to the squad, and I think they'll have just enough to keep them up with that Burnley, grit and steel. But no, I don't see them doing a lot this season.
Yeah, so bit of convoluted. I think that's the word. But like contradiction of predictions between me and you. You think Burnley are not going to have that great of a season? I think they'll finish 13th. I think they will have a good season. But I think the player to watch out for definitely is their most talented player, Dwight McNeil.
Yeah, I'd agree. No, I definitely agree with that. He's had flashes of promise, but he hasn't really managed to get the consistency yet, has he?
He needs to start adding more goals to his game.
Yeah, but it's so hard for him when he plays in such a negative team. And sure, Dutch tactics, don't get me wrong, they work, but they're not exactly the most exciting, and they don't really favour like attacking wing play, do they?
No, but obviously he has a shot on him as well, especially the goal against Everton last year. One of the goals of the season now is fantastic.
Yeah, very good goal. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Dwight McNeil definitely the player to watch out for. Nick Pope as well had a brilliant season last year. He always is reliable between the sticks. That the standout performance, especially that win at Anfield.
Cheers.
Had to mention that.
Oh dear.
So you lost your winning streak last year. How do you feel about that? Let's go on to that.
I mean, obviously didn't have a very good season, but we didn't really have a lot of depth, did we, at the back? The likes of Nat Phillips did all right, but Reece Williams wasn't so good. But yeah, Burnley play well and they beat us, so there's not much more to say about that.
We'll get on to Liverpool later, but sixth place we've got could be the champions this season. We have Chelsea. What do you think about Chelsea, Miles?
Did you say you got sixth place, or they're the sixth team?
No, they're the sixth team in the table. This is going to be so weird now. We're not doing like actual predictions. We're just going from down. So on the show, if I show on the screen now, I literally show you guys literally on the screen. They're literally sixth place. Literally look here, sixth place there. But right, so again, back onto that. Chelsea, what do you think about them?
Well, I'll leave my prediction where I actually think they're going to be at the end. I think they've got a decent squad. I mean, their defense is very good. Tuchel's is a great manager. He's shown in the Champions League last season he can put some good tactics together and make a system that works for the team. And I think they will rely on their defense this season. Unless they sign Lukaku, I don't really see where the goals are coming from again. With Werner, can he perform after a bit of a poor first season? Really became a bit of a meme. And then the likes of Pulisic and Callum Hudson-Odoi, they're just not really getting consistent running the team. So I've gone for a fourth for Chelsea, which I think where a lot of people. It's a boring prediction. Fourth. Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe you got them higher.
I do have them higher.
It's quite a standard one for them. But if they sign Lukaku, if he fits the system, they could be challenging for the league. I think that's how variable Chelsea could be this season.
Well, Lukaku's pretty much done deal. All the paperwork I've been reading, all the articles, is pretty much done anyway. So Lukaku will sign for Chelsea. That is definite. But I think they're the closest team to Man City. Well, they've beaten them 3 times last year. I know, like you only said, anyone can beat Man City on their day, but Tuchel definitely has Pep's number. It's definite to see.
Yeah.
But I think Chelsea, they have the perfect back line. Good midfield. Kante and Jorginho did fantastic last year. Kante, especially in the Champions League, definitely one of the best players in the tournament last year, or maybe the best. But I've gone Chelsea second.
Yeah, I think that the second to fourth will be very close between those clubs. So I think it could go many ways. But I think Chelsea, they're a bit of a cup team, aren't they? Like for the league, I'm not sure on them how they're I'm not sure how consistent they are, which is going to be the main word I use this video because I like the word consistency. Is Chelsea going to lack that? But I think they could win the cup, maybe Champions League again. We'll have to wait and see. But fourth for me.
I definitely agree. The consistency, you see them, they can beat Real Madrid, they can beat City in tournament cup ties, but then they'll lose to Aston Villa and West Brom like they did last year. So I understand why you put them fourth.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully for Chelsea fans' sake, they can sign Lukaku and he can bang goals. But there's been mixed reception for Lukaku. What do you think of the signing?
Well, obviously, Man United fan. He was obviously in my club. It wasn't a bad signing, but he's definitely a system player. He didn't fit Man United's system.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
He's the target man. You need to rely on him. Problem is with teams like Man United and Liverpool. Liverpool do rely on Salah. It's evident, but this team games, it's every player is worth in that system.
Yeah.
But with Lukaku, they need to make it. That's why Inter Milan worked, because Conte knew he was his number one man, and they relied on him, and it paid off in the end, that winning the title. But it's a good signing, no doubt. Brilliant striker, fantastic. 15 goals a season plus, definite.
Absolute minimum for Lukaku. He could bang 25. Like that's
yeah.
That's he is.
But the problem is when he goes missing, he goes. That's the problem.
Yeah, that is the issue with Lukaku.
Then City know his number as well. Pep knows his number. Obviously, he was at United. I don't even think he even scored against City when he was at United. But
goes missing big games, isn't he? So
that's what I'm fearing. That's why I don't think they will win the league, but I think they will run close.
Yeah, it could be a good shout. Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of people do pick Chelsea to win the league, but just City, isn't it? They're too much quality in the end. Consistency. They're such a consistent team.
I'll leave that till when I get to Man City.
Yeah, I think that's already a spoiler already. Spoilers. But this is the 7th team in the table. We got a new manager at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So what do we think about this?
I'm going to start off where I'm going to put them as 19th. I don't really see
them going down.
I think they're going to go down. The main issue for me is the Patrick Vieira. I don't think he'll do very well. If I'm honest, he's very unproven manager, let alone in the Premier League. And they made some all right signings. I don't know how you pronounce it. Guehi from Chelsea's academy, who played for Swansea last season, did all right. Elise, I don't know how you say that either, but promising player from Reading, like a bit of a Berriese style player. They're CAM, quite flair based. And also they've lost a lot of the core squad though, like Van Arnholt, Cahill, Townsend, even like Scott Dan. They've lost a lot of the spine of the team, which could hurt them in the early starts of the season when they got a lot of fresh faces playing together. But the main thing I just don't trust Vieira, and I think they'll go down because of that. Maybe he'll be sacked, but who knows?
You put them to go down. I think they'll just stay up. I put them in 17th.
What's your reasoning behind that?
I think Vieira will get sacked. That is an early prediction. As you said, not enough experience. Could do an Ollie, could do well. It always depends on sometimes it just works with a club, as we've seen with Ollie. But I hope Vieira does well, but you never want a manager to get sacked. But I think they'll just stay up. They've got enough quality. They'll rely on Zaha again, as they usually do. He's always their standout player to watch. So that's my player to watch, Wilfried Zaha. Eze's out till 2022 with an injury he's picked up last year. So that could be a big loss, especially in the games he played last year when he was absolutely fantastic. But I think the loss of Roy Hodgson is bigger than people think.
I think it's true. I mean, Roy Hodgson, he's obviously done a bad job with a few clubs, and England national team. But he does keep teams up. Him retiring could be a big loss for Crystal Palace, and as you say, more than people realise.
Yeah. As you said, the loss of Scott Dan, Gary Cahill. Christian Benteke signed a new contract after his second half of the season form last year. What do you think of Christian Benteke?
We played for us. It didn't quite work out for him, but we know he can be a good goal scorer, and hopefully for Crystal Palace fans he can get firing. But they've got quite. Last season they just didn't really have that out and out goal scorer, and Zaha just he's a very, very good player, but sometimes you go on a run for 6 games and sometimes going missing for 10. You just don't know what play you're going to get sometimes on the day, and he does get quite easily, doesn't he? Like
it's 1 or 2 injuries a season, so they do need to find a player to rely on.
Yeah, I think the main thing is just Vieira's unproven, and Palace have got a pretty aging and squad hasn't really gelled together, so that's my reasoning.
Yep, so Miles said Palace to go down. I think they'll just have enough quality to stay up. And then next we have Everton. What do we think about Everton? Your local rivals?
Yeah, they've brought in Rafa, which as a
controversial.
Yeah, I don't really like it. I mean, you never want your great managers to go to a rival club like
Hmm.
Mourinho and Chelsea and Spurs. But regardless of about taking the bias out of it, I don't think they'll be doing much. I'll put them in 11th because I've just thought the signs they've made, like Damari Gray, Andros Townsend, Begovic, it's not really screaming, pushing up the table for me. And these players are rejects of their club sort of thing. Well, Townsend obviously did well with Palace, but Damari Gray, Leicester don't want him. Begovic has just been floating around many Premier League clubs now for a few years and is a backup goalkeeper to Pickford, really, isn't he? But yeah, I'm not too sure. And a lot of the players have been there. They've had a lot of different tactical approaches. Of Ancelotti and then Koeman, a few others like Sam Allardyce. So there are a lot of different tactical changes. And Ancelotti not staying very long, I just think it's going to hurt them. Keep getting used to the new managers, new systems. Yeah, I just don't see him doing a lot this season, to be honest.
We've gone pretty close. I've gone for Everton 10th. I think they'll rely on Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison again, who are definitely their standout players from last year. Obviously, as I said, these signings, Damari Gray, Begovic and Townsend are not the most fabulous signings, considering the signings they did last year with Allen and James Rodriguez.
Yeah, some good signings.
But I think they'll just... Well, at the end of last season, they could have got European football, but then they stagnated. They got absolutely smashed at the end of last season, especially the City game on the final day.
Yeah,
when they lose their heads, Everton, they just go missing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But yeah, I don't know what to say about Everton. Really,
yeah, they're really nothing. I don't see them nowhere near the relegation fight. I don't see them nowhere near fighting for the top 7 European places. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Rafa can, what Rafa can do. He can, really turn a club around, but I'm not sure this will happen to Everton.
Yeah, so you've gone 11th, I've gone 10th, and in the next club we have got Leeds United. So I think I'll start off with Leeds United. Fabulous season last year. Marcelo Bielsa, fantastic job. Definitely did really well. Proved the manager. People questioning, is he overrated? Is his system, will it cut out in the Premier League? And it did. And I've gone Leeds to do better than last year. I put them 8th.
Yep, I've gone exactly the same.
Another agree.
Yeah, I just think I didn't back Leeds last season. I think I put them to go down, didn't I?
Yeah, you put them to go down.
Yeah, I've really rated Bielsa's tactical approach. I mean, the players clearly buy into it, and they've got some breakout stars in that team like Rafinha. I think he's absolute quality. Patrick Bamford proved a lot of people wrong last season. They've re-signed Harrison from Manchester City after the loan deal of last year. So I think they'll have a really good season and push for the European places potentially. But I don't think they'll have quite enough just because I don't really back the defence that much. They do leak goals, but they also score a lot. So, it could go either way with them. But yeah, I think the main thing is just Bielsa. He's just a great manager. And I think he'll push them up the table this season.
I think without him, Leeds would very struggle.
Yeah, I think they would. I think they'll be down there with near the relegation scrap, probably with a different manager.
So Jack Harrison is my player to watch out for this season. Fantastic, 10 assists last year, I think, in the Premier League. He did absolutely fantastic. An out-and-out winger. He does like to cut in and score a goal, especially in the Newcastle goal last year was absolutely fantastic, and scored at Anfield as well. That was a really good goal, even though that was catastrophic defending, I must say. Yeah. But yeah, he's my standout player to watch out for. Who's your standout player to watch for?
Yeah, well, I agree. I'd agree with Jack Harrison. I think he's very underrated. But I've gone standard Rafinha. I think it's world class. I think he could be playing for a Champions League team, whether that would be at Leeds if they can keep pushing on, or elsewhere. I think he'll get a move eventually. He's that good, and he's going to have a very good season in my opinion.
He has been linked with Liverpool in the past. What would you think if he moves to Liverpool?
Yeah, it would be a good signing. I think if potentially likes of Shaqiri move on, we could need a backup because he wouldn't be first choice straight away. That's for sure. But yeah, I think he could be good for the future.
Yeah, definitely. Calvin Phillips had a fantastic Euros, so could he have another great season?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, he really impressed me in the Euros. I didn't watch a lot of Leeds last season, like a handful of games, but obviously watching all the England games. very, very good alongside Declan Rice, but also showed he's got a bit going forward as well. He's not just a lump in the middle of the park sort of thing. He can create play. So yeah, he's set for a good season again if he can continue that form.
We definitely saw that, especially he got the assist for Raheem Sterling in the Croatia game when he decided to push up the pitch. That was a fantastic assist from Calvin Phillips. And we predict another fantastic season for Leeds. And we've both agreed yet again for an 8th place finish.
Yeah, definitely.
And now we go into everyone's favourite club and favourite owner, Leicester City.
Yeah, I put Leicester in 5th. You put Arsenal in 5th, but I've gone for Leicester. I think that they've got enough quality over the likes of Leeds, Spurs, Arsenal, and the rest of those clubs in that area just to solidify their place in 5th, like the last season. I don't think we get enough top 4 just because of the Europa League rotation. I just think that top 4 too good compared to the rest of the league. But they made some good signings, like because of Daka, another forward maybe to replace Vardy in a couple of years' time. We'll have to see. But Ryan Bertrand is an interesting one because he did well in the Community Shield, didn't he, the final. And yeah, I just think Brendan Rodgers is a great manager, and they'll stay 5th.
What do you think they'll finish 5th for the 3rd season in a row and miss out on top 4 then?
Yeah, I don't think they'll get top 4. I'll say that now. I don't think they'll get top 4. Well, I could be wrong, but I think they'll be. I'm pretty confident Leicester will be 5th, 6th in that area.
Well, I've gone one down from you. I put Leicester City 6th.
Yes, we've mixed Arsenal and Leicester up.
I think there could be a bit of interchange between Leicester and Arsenal, which we both agree with. But I don't think they have a good season. I think they have a good season, but not as good as the past 2.
Fair enough.
Well, I think Dak is a good signing as well. Ryan Bertrand, underrated at Southampton. Good signing, I think, especially when Pereira is out, because Ricardo Pereira does get injuries, and we've seen Castagna get injured a lot since his time at Leicester. Yeah. But yeah, so that's a good backup signing. And as I said, Daka, maybe to replace Vardy, and also backup as well. As we've seen, he's also pacey as well. He's similar traits to Jamie Vardy, I must say.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I think it'll be a replacement, just to have a year to settle in, learn from Vardy, and then maybe take his place in a couple of seasons' time.
Yep, so I think they'll get Europa League again. Europa League football, will they focus on it? Because they didn't focus, I'll just say there, confusion of words, but they didn't really focus on it last year.
Yeah, I think they were quite underwhelming in Europa League, and where they get knocked out, like
Slavia Prague, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah. They didn't do very well, but maybe they'll have a bit more of a know-how about how to go about the games, because it is a lot different playing in the Premier League compared to going on a Thursday night to as you say, Prague. But I think I'm a bit better, but I don't know we're anywhere near winning it.
Right, so Leicester City, we predict them to have another good season, and let's see what they can do. 11th place. Well, not 11th place, blimey. See, this is even confusing me now. Oh, this is going to be the running theme of the podcast. But
place.
Let's hope you finish 11th place. We've got Liverpool.
Do you want to start with Liverpool, since it's your favourite club?
Yeah, they're going to get relegated. And no, I've put them 4th.
4th? Oh,
yeah.
That's potentially quite low. What's your reasoning?
Obviously, they were champions last year. I could say some things about your title defence, but I'm not. But not a great Premier League title defence. I think everyone knew it was over as soon as Van Dijk and Joe Gomez got injured. Yeah. Even though you were top of the league in the new year. But I think everyone knew City hit form, and then everyone's like, City are just winning it. And then Liverpool, barren run at home as well for the first part of the season, or second half of the season, 6 losses in a row. It's the worst in the club's history. But as we saw from the final 5 games, they were the best team in the league on form. So they did get there. It was the best form throughout the season. So I think Liverpool will have a good season. I think they'll get top 4. No one will come close to them in 4th. I think, as you said, that top 4 is just too good compared to everyone else. And I think the top 4 will be cemented from about 10 points. 5th will be about the gap between 10 points between 5th and 4th. And I think Liverpool will finish 4th, but I don't think they'll have a good season as everyone else is, as they're saying.
Okay, well, I've gone for 2nd.
2nd?
maybe a bit of blind optimism, a bit of bias, but
That's what I'm thinking.
I think we'll make a good comeback this season. We've only really signed Canate, but I think there's much needed defensive cover, especially what happened last season. We know with the injuries and whatnot, but I just think that the front three, but is very good. But the only concern I have is the midfield. Losing Wijnaldum is going to be quite big. I think massive loss. So can we replace him by the end of the window? I think that'll probably be the difference between us finishing second or potentially challenging for the league. Yeah, I just hope likes of Keita, Thiago can really step up this season. I think that'll be a bit massive for us if they can do that. We lost Robertson from injury, but it doesn't look like he's going to be out for that long. Maybe only like six weeks. It might miss the first couple of months of the season. But we got old Tsimikas coming in.
Had a good game the other day.
Yeah, he did well. He got a couple of assists, didn't he, in pre-season friendly? I don't think Robertson being out will hurt us that much with the likes of Van Dijk, Canate. I think we'll do well this season.
Player to watch out for Liverpool for me. I'm going to go Harvey Elliott.
Strong shout. It's looked very promising so far, hasn't it?
He had a fantastic season in the Championship with Blackburn last year, and I think he'll impress for Liverpool if he gets the game time. Obviously, it depends on the front three because just the front three, isn't it? Firmino, Mane, and Salah, and Jota. Unexpected signing last year. We're all questioning 40 million. Is he worth that? But he definitely did show.
Yeah, he was good. He was good backup when he was asked to come in. In the likes of Firmino dropped from the team or other injuries. He did well. My player to watch out for was Sadio Mane. He didn't have an amazing season last year by his standards, but I think he'll be back and hungry. And well refreshed for the season. We will lose him to Africa Cup of Nations, I think, with Salah, which could hurt us a lot. But hopefully, as you say, Harvey Elliott, Jota, and we'll start Firmino can carry us through that period. Yes, I think Mane will be back to his old best.
What do you think about Mohamed Salah?
He's carried us the last few seasons, but I think if we don't win the league or challenge for Champions League this season, we could be on his way potentially. But I thought he was going to be on his way this summer, and I'm wrong. So who knows?
Definitely one of the best players in the league, and could he be top scorers? We'll get on to that later. But Liverpool, bit of mix between us again. You've put them second. I put them to finish fourth. Let's see what Liverpool do this season and potentially could win the league. You never know. It is the Premier League. Next, this is probably the eventual winners. We have Manchester City, and I'll go first. They're going to win it.
Oh, I'd agree. I'd really agree.
I just don't see anyone else. The squad depth they have is ridiculous.
Oh, the squad depth they have is way too good, and it's unfair, especially with the signing of Grealish. Their attacking options. I mean, looks like Bernardo Silva will be out the door, but
well, hey, Whiny Silva, bye bye.
Yeah, that squad is just ridiculously unfair, and Pep's done great things with them. But I think the main one for them is the Champions League this season. And they obviously want to win the Prem, but the Champions League is still that short off the trophy. They failed in the final this year. So, it's just the squad. It's just too strong.
They're signing a Jack Grealish for 100 million as well, the most expensive British player in the history now. And I think if he gets the game time, definitely a player to watch out for. I think he's in the list. But talks about Harry Kane. If Kane joins, I think it just might be. It's going to be nailed. I think it's nailed on anyway. But
if Kane joins,
but I'll go on to Tottenham later. But we'll go on to Harry Kane now. Do you think Harry Kane will move?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's obviously a possibility, but unless they can get a replacement, I don't think Daniel Levy's going to look to sell him. Because Lautaro Martinez is looking like he could be on his way to Spurs, but unless that happens, I don't see Levy wanting to sell at all, really. As Pep said, and if they don't want to negotiate, they can't put an offer in. So I don't think he'll be on his way yet, probably.
I've said that in the past 2 episodes. I've been adamant, really, even though the reports Harry Kane. I didn't think he'd actually have it in him to miss training, but reports been saying he didn't miss training. He was reported to come back on Saturday, which he did anyway. So perhaps he didn't have what I said he had in him. Perhaps I was proven right. But yeah, I'm going to say it for the 3rd episode in a row. I don't think Harry Kane's moving.
No, and I mean the leaving training thing was an interesting one because I believe that he did that on purpose to not come back as soon as he could have done because the likes of Grealish, he was waiting to see with Messi and was waiting to see the situation sort of thing, and then sort of backtrack with his statement. I could be completely wrong. I mean, Harry Kane's obviously a great professional, but you can't knock him for trying to force a move because he's got some very stubborn owners at his club. So yeah, I don't think it'll be happening. I don't think he'll go anywhere. I think we'll be at Spurs.
So I've mentioned Jack Grealish earlier, but who is your player to watch out for?
There's obviously a lot of quality players in that team, but I'll probably think Riyad Mahrez. I think I have a lot of games this season with Bernardo Silva on his way looks things, and Sterling mainly plays off the left. So I think Mahrez will be back to banging him in every week. Hopefully, we can get his confidence up.
I've gone Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, it's a good shout after these Euros.
Fantastic Euros. Proved everyone wrong. Proved me wrong. We had discussions saying everyone wondered how he was in the team really because he didn't actually have that bad of a season looking back last year. It just wasn't the numbers that he got in the previous three. But he had fantastic Euros, as we saw, mostly the main man, really, because Harry Kane didn't have a fantastic Euros overall, even though he scored 4 goals, wasn't it, in the end? But Raheem Sterling is definitely my player to watch out for, and I think he'll have a good season and prove everyone wrong.
Yeah, a good shout.
Next, we go on to the best prediction of all time. We're going on to Manchester United.
Yeah, do you want to start as your club?
Yeah, I think I'm going to win. No, I'm joking. I've already said City are winning anyway, so that was pointless. But what was I going to say? Third. There you go. Third.
Well, what's your reason? You made some good signings. I mean, Man United typically like to splash the clash. No, splash the clash.
Splash the clash.
Yeah, it's a bit of tongue that one. Splash the clash. But will Sancho prove to be a good signing? And Varane not yet confirmed, but it's looking like it's highly
I think I literally just saw the medicals done.
Is it done already?
Yeah.
I looked earlier today and it wasn't quite confirmed, but yeah, it's been known for a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
How do you think you'll get? And I think the only question marks for you are the DM and the goalkeeper spots.
Yeah.
De Gea, Henderson.
I still go De Gea. But it's nostalgia, obviously. We know how good David De Gea is. He's still good. He's still a good goalkeeper. But obviously, Dean Henderson's got COVID, so he won't start the season. So David De Gea will start in goal. But I do like Dean Henderson. But as we saw from a few games, the AC Milan game last year in the Europa League, the Liverpool game, especially at Old Trafford, his positioning for Salah's goal was terrible. But he's still young. He's still young for a goalkeeper. He has loads of time. Goalkeepers have loads of time in football. It's fact. But I think this will be De Gea's last season. So I think he'll have a good. He actually didn't have. He didn't have a bad season last year. I don't know why everyone still goes at him. Obviously, the Europa League final didn't help. But should you be expecting a goalkeeper to score a penalty?
I think the main thing for me with the Europa League final was not the fact he missed a penalty, it's the fact he didn't save 11.
Yeah.
It's not great, is it? You expect the goalkeeper to make one save in 10 penalties, especially when you're getting defenders to take.
He should have saved the one before he kicked.
Yeah, I don't think you could blame him for not scoring, but you got to blame him for not saving because that's his job at the end of it.
Yeah, but so I think David De Gea will be his last season. I think he'll be in goal. Rafa Varane, fantastic signing, definitely needed. I said to you last year, Lindelof and Maguire wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're too similar. Not similar. Maguire's better, way better than Lindelof. But they're both slow centre backs. And then we saw the impact. Hopefully, Wan-Bissaka will have a good season. Hopefully, another good season like his first one. Because last year he was all right, but he wasn't to the best we know he can be. Yeah, but because we saw his positioning needs to be better because Lindelof, they were practically holding hands because they were so close together. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So hopefully Wan-Bissaka's positioning will be better, especially with Maguire next to him, because we've seen the impact of Luke Shaw and Maguire next to each other for England and Man United, and it's fantastic. They just understand each other to a T. And Luke Shaw, hang on. Rep Luke Shaw. Got to get this out. sorry if you're listening on the Spotify, but Luke Shaw, repping Luke Shaw this year, and I think he'll have another fantastic season. Best left back in the league, confirmed, especially with Robertson out, so he'll have another good season. So I think Luke Shaw is my player to watch out for after a fantastic season. But we'll finish third. Sancho, obviously a great signing as well. It's a lot of money to live up to, but I don't think he'll hit the ground running like a Bruno, but I think he'll have a good season. We needed someone on the right because Greenwood's not a right winger. He needs to develop more into a number 9, which he'll know he'll be in the future. Rashford's out for a few months. He definitely needed that. Definitely needed that injury, but he needed that surgery because he didn't play well towards the end of last season with the 2 injuries he sustained. And hopefully, when he comes back, he'll be to the best we know he can be. So I've gone for us to finish third. And as I've said, the midfield is not good enough. So where have you put Man United?
Third as well. I completely agree. Yeah, I mean, I think the main issue for you is just the DM, isn't it? With Fred and McTominay not really good enough for Man United standards, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think the signings are, as you say, much needed. Sancho on the right, and then you definitely need the quick centre back with Lindelof and Maguire, as you say, not very mobile. So I think Man United will have a good season, but Solskjaer needs to win a trophy this season. Absolutely has to, in my opinion. It needs to be winning, like, even if it's an EFL Cup, like something. You're Man United's manager, you need to be winning trophies, and that's the same for all the top clubs. And he hasn't won one yet. After what would be that's now his 3rd season.
Third season, full season in charge.
Yeah, exactly. So he needs to be getting a trophy this season. From whether he just solidifies top 4 and gets the FA Cup, I think that'll be a good season.
Yeah. So, player to watch out for Man United. I've said Luke Shaw, obviously.
I think Luke Shaw's a good shout. I think I'm going to go for Varane. I think Varane, if he does sign, but he's pretty much over the line already. But yeah, I think Varane will massively improve your defence and become one of the best centre backs in the Premier League.
Let's go. Polish Harry Maguire. What do you think about Harry Maguire? Proved everyone wrong, especially the impact. We didn't have a great end to the season last year, and you saw how vital Harry Maguire is to that team. And I think he's definitely shown that he's capable of wearing the captain's armband because he had a terrible start to last season, and I think he's proven everyone wrong so far. So what do you think about Harry Maguire?
Yeah, I'd agree. He's a really good centre-back, and he captains and leads the team so well, and it'd definitely be very important with that back line. And as you say, he's got a very good link-up with Shaw. And yeah, I mean, starting to justify his large price tag, which everyone doubted to begin with. But yeah, he's doing well.
So that's Man United. Next, we go on to Newcastle United. What do you think about Newcastle then, Miles?
This is probably my boldest shout. I mean, a lot of people would probably have him at low. I've gone 12th, which I think is maybe potentially quite high for Newcastle. But Steve Bruce, I think he's respected as much as he doesn't get enough respect as he deserves. When that squad is fit, he does well. Like Callum Wilson is a very, very good striker. He'll probably get, I reckon, around 10, 15 goals this season again. They've got like Sir Alisson, Maximan, a quality player on his day. Willock coming back on a permanent deal, potentially signing Rob Holding. No, I think they'll have a good season if they can keep the squad fit. If they can't keep the squad fit, they could go down. This is how it goes. But yeah, I think Newcastle will be set for a good season.
But I've put them a bit lower. I don't think they'll get relegated, but I think they'll finish 15th.
Yeah, I think that's probably where most people will put them in that sort of region. But I think they'll be up there with Brighton. Brighton and Newcastle are pretty close to each other in the table.
They definitely have the ability to go down. Fantastic players, as you say, Callum Wilson, Alisson, Maximan, getting Joe Willock back. Definitely fantastic signing after his loan spell last year. So
Lingard getting the loanee player back.
Yeah, so I don't think Jesse Lingard will go back to West Ham, but I think that's confirmed pretty much. But Joe Willock, fantastic signing, proving everyone wrong because there was question marks him at Arsenal, and I think he's a fantastic player, Joe Willock. He's definitely my player to watch.
Oh yeah, that same. Yeah, I was going to say Joe Willock as well. If he can, I don't think he'll bang the goals like he did last season because he did go on a bit of a run, didn't he? But it'll definitely be very important to them in that midfield.
So you said Newcastle. Where do you say Newcastle's going to finish?
12.
And I've said 15th. Next, we go on to new boys, but also the Premier League's favourite yo-yo club, Norwich.
Yeah, and I'm going to say I'm going to repeat that and finish 20th.
I agree.
Yeah, I just think they really, really lack quality. Like where the goals coming from in that team. Like Pookie's not Pookie as we saw a couple of seasons ago. He's not really up to Premier League standards. He does win the Championship, but as soon as he gets to the Premier League, he had that one good spell with August scored a hat trick. I believe it was against Newcastle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was against Newcastle.
Carrow Road, yeah. And then after that, Story just fell off the ball massively. I mean, they lost Buendia as well, who's a big creative player for them. And they haven't really signed anyone like Rashika from the Bundesliga. Could be a good signing, but other than that, it's Billy Gilmore. He's obviously a good player, but can he really take them by a scruff of the neck and keep them up? I don't think so at his age. Yeah, so I think they'll be back down in 20th, but maybe better than they were last time they were in the Premier League. Maybe about 30 points this time.
He's definitely the player to watch out for, Billy Gilmore. But as you said, the age, they're depending on him when he's at such a young age.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Isn't it?
It's a lot of pressure. And this might be the shortest team we talk about today. But yeah, I as you said with Everton, I don't want to say about Norwich. They're the Premier League yo-yo club, and I think they'll just finish rock bottom of the league.
Yep, I agree. Move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Next, Southampton.
I'm going to put them 15th, which is. I think Southampton is really hard to place this season because they could equally finish 11th, 12th if likes of Armstrong from Blackburn did well in the Championship last season. I think he was second top goal scorer behind Tony. But I just think losing Ings is going to be quite crucial for them, even though he's quite injury prone. But he did carry them through games. He's pretty much the reason they beat us at St Mary's, and he's a talisman. And Hasenhuttl, I don't know how much I trust him. You know, he's sort of like a progressive manager. He seems to play modern style of football, but he doesn't really get consistent results. I mean, they've had 2 9-0s now, which has got to ask for questions, isn't it? Albeit both of them had a red card, but still, not losing 9-0 twice has got to show flaws as a manager. And he did well to get them back after the first 9-0 loss. They actually went on a decent run. They were top of the league last year at one point, weren't they? With their Stop the Count merch, they released on their website. But, I think they could easily go down Southampton, but I think they'll have enough, the likes of James Ward-Prowse to keep them up.
But yeah, after they beat Liverpool on the 1st of January, or second, I can't remember. That's too long ago. But after they beat Liverpool, they went the worst run in the league. I think they were the worst team.
Probably, I wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, and they only beat Liverpool. They drew against Chelsea. Other than that, they lost. Obviously, the 9-0. We beat them 9-0. They were down to 9 men though, but it's no excuse for losing 2 in a row. Could be that. Well, I want to see the money on that to lose 9-0 for the 3rd season in a row.
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
Yeah, I've actually gone Southampton 1 lower. I've got them 16th.
Yeah, I'd agree. And there's not a lot of difference between those teams around there, Burnley and the newly promoted boys.
So the loss of Danny Ings is huge. Obviously, he didn't have a fantastic end to the season last year, but no doubt his quality, once he's fit and going, fantastic striker, one of the best in the league. Linked with Spurs, he was before moving to Villa, maybe to replace Harry Kane. But obviously, but he's gone to Aston Villa now. But Southampton, they'll just have enough to stay up. But I think they'll finish 16th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we move on to speaking of the devil, Tottenham Hotspur.
Do you want to start on this one?
Yeah, I'll start with this one. I've put them 7th.
I've agreed with
7th. We've agreed again. We've agreed a lot today.
Yes, I mean, surprisingly, they didn't make the predictions together, so clearly got similar ideas.
I've always thought Harry Kane's going to stay, as I've said numerous times on the podcast, but I don't think it will be enough. They're going to rely on Kane and Son again. I think they'll both have fantastic seasons again, but they rely on them too much. Their back line, they've obviously Toby Alderweireld's gone, surprisingly, I think.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, he's gone to Qatar, isn't he? I think. Yeah. So obviously after the money and just wants a pretty relaxed end to his career. But yeah, Spurs, I just think they're a bit average, really. Nuno's a very average appointment, in my opinion. They could have done a lot better, but no one's really chomping at a bit to get that job. Allegri turned them down, I believe.
Yeah, Antonio Conte as well.
And Conte, but Nuno, he's managed to get himself a alleged upgrade in the job from Wolves to Spurs and getting pretty much sacked. Like, I'd imagine he would have been sacked if he wouldn't have walked. So, yeah, I just don't trust Nuno. And like, I agree with you that Kane and Son will have good seasons, like up there with the same outputs they had last season and the season before that. But yeah, they haven't really done much. They've signed that like Gill player from
Brian Gill from Sevilla,
one there from Sevilla,
and then Christian Romero from Atalanta as well.
As well as Golini from Atalanta, both loan signings. So yeah, I haven't really added much. And Gill was, he might be all right, but I think it might take him a season or two to adapt. And I just think it'll be a bit average, it's just 7th.
Yeah, we both agree on that. My player to watch for is a player who's played for Nuno under Wolves. I've gone for Matt Doherty.
Yeah, he probably get his place back in the team. I mean, Oreo will probably be a bit annoyed that Nuno's the manager now, because he was good. But Oreo was quite in favour under Mourinho, wasn't he? He's played a lot of games. Yeah. My player to watch standard Harry Kane. I think they'll have a very good season, along with Son. I've got a really good link up, but other than that, I don't really see a lot of bright sparks in a pretty dull Tottenham team.
Could we see the return of Dele Alli?
Yeah, he showed good form in pre-season. It looks like he probably will start. So we know what sort of player he is when he broke out in the 15-16 season, was it?
Yep, I think so. Long time ago.
Player is, but whoever you imagine can get him on side. That's what Mourinho tried, but it didn't really work in the end. So he could be a breakout. Breakout. He's not a new player, but back to form for Dele Alli potentially. This
is the good old phrase, isn't it, in football? It's like a new signing. It's like with you and Oxlade-Chamberlain every year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Literally, my dad always says that. Oxlade-Chamberlain's back. It's like a new signing. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to get injured again.
Yeah, he's on the treatment table the next couple of weeks.
It's a new signing on the treatment table. Oh, no, it's not. But next we have Ben Foster FC. We have Watford FC.
Oh dear, I want to put Watford high, but I've got them relegated, 18th. Yeah, the last team I'm relegating today. Yeah, I just think they it's not a lot to judge them off, but defensively, I don't think they're as good as it seems. They played Palace a lot, scored, and they conceded 3 goals. They look a bit suspect. They got some good players like Ismail Assar. They've got some, they've got quite a lot of range of strikers there. They've got Deeney, Gray, King, the guy called Cucho. I don't know how you pronounce it, but people have been raving about him. Apparently, he's going to break through. But yeah, I think the defense will be the main issue with a lot of, Rose quite underwhelming, really. I think he's not a bad signing, but he's no better than likes of Ryan Bertrand. So yeah, I think the defense will be the main reason they go down.
I've put them 19th. So this is my last relegated team of the day. Yep. I think there's Premier League experience there. You've got Ben Foster, Danny Rose, Josh King, but
I think it stinks of West Brom though last season. I'm not making the same mistake again. I think the manager won't. I don't even know the guy's name, to be honest, but I think he will be sacked.
Well, it's Watford, isn't it?
Yeah, they change every 2 minutes. But yeah, I think he'll be sacked at some point. Probably won't be surprised if he's the first manager to be sacked. But yeah, I don't trust Watford to stay up at all. Really, I could put them lower, but I just think the likes of Sarr and other good players in their team will have enough to maybe make it a bit of a fight.
For some reason, I'm actually happy for Watford to be back in the Premier League. I don't know what it is about Watford, really. It's just Watford, isn't it? But Ben Foster, everyone's favourite footballing YouTuber. What do we think about Ben Foster?
I don't think he's going to play a lot of Backman and goal in front of him, but hopefully he can get a few games with the GoPro. It would be interesting, but yeah, he's getting on now, isn't he? I don't think he'll get a lot of game time.
My player to watch out for is a player I think you know too well, Ismail Assar.
I'd say the same. Yeah, very very good player. Surprising he's stuck with the club, to be honest. And obviously he was there. I think he was their player of the season last year.
Yeah, he was.
Some very very good performances from him, and I do think he'll be a good player for them this season, but it won't be enough to keep him up.
Ismail Assar, fantastic player, linked with Manchester United, and of course the team he scored the 2 goals against Liverpool. What do you think if he was at Liverpool?
It's the same sort of situation as like you asked me about Rafinha earlier. I think it'll be good backup, a very exciting player, definitely one for the future. Yeah, I wouldn't be if they go down again. I think they'd probably look to maybe he'd probably be looking to move on. So yeah, it could work out.
We're only got 2 teams left now on the predictions. Now we have everyone's favourite from East London. We got West Ham. Yeah, what do we think about
that? Well, first of all, David Moyes done a quality job last season. It hasn't been backed at all in the window. I mean, all their signings, Areola, who's
online as well.
Yeah, he's going to be second fiddle to Fabianski. And then Craig Dawson obviously did well last season, but it's not a new signing, is it? So
yeah,
and they've lost Lingard. I honestly could have put them a lot lower. Like I could put them down where I'm putting like Brighton, Newcastle, but I've gone 10th. But I honestly think it could be lower. They're going to have to rotate Europa League. They've only got one striker who's like the most injury prone in the league, is Antonio. He's obviously a great striker on his day, like up there with the best in the league. But it's just his hamstrings don't really hold up too well, do they? Especially playing week in, like playing on a Saturday, playing on a Thursday, playing on a Sunday. He's not going to be able to start every game. Yeah, and that's my concern for West Ham. They haven't got any other players they can rely on, really. Lack of depth, and I think that will hurt them.
I agree. I put them 11th, one below where you've put them in 10th. As I said, the problems with the Europa League, they haven't really bought anyone, to be honest. Obviously, losing Jesse Lingard, coming back to Manchester United, I do think that's a mistake. Opinions on Jesse Lingard, Miles?
Well, he did really well from last season. Like, was definitely one of the standout performers of the second half of the season after moving in a January transfer window. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think they should have re-signed him. I'm not sure how much Man United wanted, but
30 million.
It's not too bad, to be honest. I mean, he did well from last season. So
He's only got 1 year left on his contract, though.
Yeah, maybe you can get him on a free after. That's just thinking, because West Ham loans are a bit stingy, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, Lingard. I mean, I don't know what's in it for him staying in Man United, because he's not going to get in past.
No.
So what's the point? You might as well, move elsewhere, or maybe get another loan until you can go on a free at the end of the season somewhere you can actually be appreciated.
I'll say even if Bruno falls ill or has the worst game ever, you still get on the pitch ahead of Lingard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I love Jesse. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic personality to have around the dressing room. Problem is, we're trying to win a title. Personalities don't win titles. And would he even get on the bench in a title-winning team for City, Chelsea? No, not really.
I think you get an our bench.
Yeah, get on your bench, because everyone gets on your bench.
Got quite good strength nowadays, so it's not so much of an argument as it was before.
Yeah,
I think he should be looking for a move.
Yeah, he definitely should be for his career. He's 27, 28 now. He's still young talent. He proved it last year, Miles. I've told you. But yeah, he needs to move for his career. Yarmolenko still at West Ham, had a fantastic Euros. So he didn't play much last year though. But Antonio, as you said, injured all the time. Ben Rama, bit underwhelming last year. Ben Rama, but he is my player to watch.
Yeah, a lot of the FPL guys are looking at Ben Rama. Maybe to replace Lingard, but I'm not sure. To be honest with Ben Rama, he's not he's not done a lot. I think he's just a decent flair player, but not sure how much he can be relied on.
Yeah, I agree. But if anyone can transform a player, it's definitely David Moyes. He's got the CV for that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Now we go on to the last team. We've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. So I think I'll start off with this. Underwhelming season, to say the least, last year. Losing Raul Jimenez, a shocking injury at Arsenal. Absolutely shocking. Will he be back to his best? But I think Wolves will stay up. I think they'll finish 12th.
Okay, I've got them in 14th, so maybe a bit lower. But I think the thing for Wolves is a lot of unknowns. They could bring a surprise, but they also could be in the relegation scrap. Like they've got a new manager, and Raul Jimenez is obviously back, but can he be back to his best? I think that will be crucial to them. Patricio's left, which is an interesting one. And they've got Sa in from his Portuguese goalkeeper. Will he have the same effect as Patricio's? Quite good for a few seasons. I just think with Wolves, it's hard to say what they're going to be. So I've just gone for a pretty average bottom end of the league, but not in the relegation fight.
Raul Jimenez, definitely the player to watch out for again. Hopefully he'll be back to his best, as we've seen him before. Shocking injury, as I said, at Arsenal. Will he be back to the player he can be?
No, I think he will. I think he'll come back fighting, and he'll be hungry to prove himself again in the Premier League and prove everyone wrong that he can play with that. I think he's got a bit protective headband on now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Playing unfortunately for him, but yeah, I think Roll will be backfiring. But if he isn't, then they really could be in trouble.
As we saw, as soon as he went off injured last year, it's like they've just lost the spark. Pretty much, if we didn't have a. It's hard to speak about Wolves because I do like Wolves as a football club, definitely fantastic football club. But as soon as they lost him in November, it just seemed their season just went down pretty much.
Well, so
yeah, losing Jota as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, they had Fabio Silva. He was a bit underwhelming last year. He's still a young kid, but still has time. But as we saw, he just wasn't a Raul Jimenez.
No, definitely not.
And that's the predictions we're going to go over from 20th to 1st. So let's start with Miles. Go over your predictions again.
Oh God, I've got them in order. I've got them in alphabetical.
Or just go over the teams again, just to reiterate.
Right, so I've got Arsenal 6th, Villa 9th, Brentford 16th, Brighton 13th, Burnley 17th, Chelsea 4th, Palace 19th, Everton 11th, Leeds 8th, Leicester 5th, Liverpool 2nd, City 1st, United 3rd, Newcastle 12th, Norwich 20th, Southampton 15th, Spurs 7th, Watford 18th, West Ham 10th, and Wolves 14th.
I'm going to go from 1st to 20th, I think. I've put Man City to win the league, Chelsea 2nd, Man United 3rd, Liverpool 4th, Arsenal 5th, Leicester 6th, Spurs 7th, 8th Leeds, Aston Villa 9th, 10th Everton, 11th West Ham, 12th Wolves, 13th Burnley, 14th Brighton, 15th Newcastle, 16th Southampton, 17th Palace, 18th Brentford, 19th Watford, and 20th Norwich. So we've done the predictions for this year, and now I'm going to do player of the season. What do you think about who's going to be player of the season?
I think it's going to be Kevin De Bruyne. He's
safe choice.
Back from injury, yeah, but he's just a very, very good player, and I think he'll also get the most assists in the league, with some great attacking players around him. And if City go in the league, it's not always there. It's not always a player from that club, but I think De Bruyne will be back to his best. To be honest, yeah, another strong shout could be Bruno. I don't think Salah will be. To be honest, obviously missing out with the Cup of Nations, and I think there'll be the goals will be a bit more spread this season between the front three, front four, with Mane back firing instead earlier. So yeah, I've gone for De Bruyne as player of the season. What about you?
It's actually quite hard. I'm backing it. I'm backing Bruno.
Yeah, it's a good shout. If you get some more penalties.
I could discuss this all day. I could destroy every Bruno hater in an instant.
You're an exceptionally good player, but
yeah,
if the penalties drop off, he could be dropping off in the goal figures. That's all I'm saying.
But as we saw in the Euros, not easy to take a penalty, is it?
No,
not easy.
Out, son. Probably will practice.
Yes, so I've gone backing Bruno Fernandes. You're backing Kevin De Bruyne. Two great players in their positions. Young player of the season.
It's an interesting one. Well, I'm going to go for Mason Greenwood.
Backing Man United.
Yeah, I think Mason Greenwood will have a good season, and then Rashford's out for a while, isn't he? So I think Greenwood probably will solidify his place in that team, with Martial being consistent. I think another good shout for the season could be Saka. Obviously, he's probably going to get more minutes than Greenwood, but I think Greenwood will. He's a very clinical player, and I think he'll really impress this season and potentially nail his place in the team.
Yeah, I'd say Phil Foden still fits in the category for young player of the season. He got it last year, and I'm going to back him again. I'm going to go Phil Foden again.
Yep, strong shout. Where do you get the minutes though? With a lot of Grealish coming in, a lot of competition in his area of the pitch.
I think players like Phil Foden, whatever minutes they get, they'll just play brilliantly anyway.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It literally doesn't matter how many minutes he'll play. 5 minutes and it'll impact the game. It's like Grealish. As soon as we saw in the Euros, comes on, especially in the Germany game, comes on and impacts the game instantly.
Yeah. Who do you want for the Golden Boot?
Golden Boot. This is actually quite a hard one. It does depend on Harry Kane, but I'm going to go to Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, I like that shout.
I'm going to back a Liverpool player for once.
even though he's got the Cup of Nations, I still think he'll get enough goals in him in the other games.
We've guaranteed a hat-trick in one game, as we saw last year, in Leeds last year. Back to hat-trick. Everyone was gutted when no one captained Salah last year on FPL, especially on game week 1. That was gutting.
Everyone's on Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Salah will be captained against Norwich, don't you worry.
No, I've made sure of that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Mohamed Salah. I think obviously it depends on the African Cup of Nations, but it doesn't matter for me. He's just that player.
Yeah, I've gone for a boring choice of Harry Kane. It's pretty standard.
2 seasons in a row.
Yeah, I think regardless of whether he'll be at Spurs or elsewhere, well, we'll see. I think he'll stay in the Premier League regardless of whether he gets moved or not. But I think he's just obviously a very, very good goal scorer, and he'll be relied upon like Nuno relied on Raul in his Wolves team. And I just think he's just the standout for me, Harry Kane.
Yeah, I think the next one's going to be really boring. Top assists.
I've already said De Bruyne.
Yeah, De Bruyne. Just agreed. Now we're going to go on to the fixtures. First fixtures, obviously Friday night. This Premier League is back. Everyone's happy. Brentford versus Arsenal. How do we think this one's going to swing?
I think that Arsenal will beat them, but Brentford will give them a game. Will we give them scores or just a result?
Whatever you want. Scores, result, doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll give a result. I think Arsenal win.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go for an Arsenal 2-1 win. I think it'll be incredibly close.
Yeah, I think Brentford will give them a good push. I think it could even be a high scoring like 3-2 Arsenal. I'll go for.
Would be a fantastic way to start off the season, definitely on the Friday night. But Saturday, obviously, my boys Manchester United versus Leeds. Brilliant game to start off the season. 2 rivals. Rafa Varane is not going to start. Obviously, his medicals today. I think it will be announced today as well. Bit too close to the deadline, so I don't think Varane will play. Sancho started training on Monday. I don't think he'll play. But I think we will win. I'm going to go for a 3-2 win.
3-2 high scoring. I'm just going to go for a 2-1 main. I think Leeds will give you a game. I think maybe they'll score first, but I think Comeback FC will get the job done.
We are terrible at home though, which is not amazing.
Yeah, I still think you'll beat Leeds opening game of the season.
We prefer being away from home than at home because we were unbeaten away from home last year. Good achievement.
You're away sick.
Yeah, we are away. It's the Firmino thing away, isn't it? Classic season 1 that. But yeah. Burnley and Brighton.
Oh, that's a pretty stinky game, that isn't it? Pretty boring. Draw. 0-0. 0-0.
I'm going to go for 1-0 Brighton.
Yeah, I think Brighton are more likely to beat Burnley than Burnley are likely to beat Brighton, but I just don't see that being very exciting game. So go for 0-0.
Top favourites Chelsea versus the new Crystal Palace. I'm going to go Chelsea win.
I'm going to steamroll 4-0.
4-0. I'm going to go 3-1.
Yeah, I don't see Palace putting up any sort of fight. As I've put in the predictions, I just think they're going to be pretty average in this game, or pretty poor, really.
Yeah, it was literally just appeared on my screen. You're frozen for ages. But Everton and Southampton could be another boring game.
Yeah, 2 quite like unknown teams this season. I mean, Southampton have lost Danny Ings, and Everton have got a new manager. But I'm gonna back Rafa to have a good start of a 1-0 win.
I'm going to go for 1-1.
Yeah, a good prediction.
I think struggling defences. Sometimes I think Everton have the better attack, but I think it's just going to be a very dull game. I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah.
Leicester City versus Wolves could be a kickstart. Another good kickstart to the season. I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester win.
I'm going to agree with that. 3-1.
We've agreed on that.
We'll have a good start with Wolves. Yeah, a lot of question marks. So I think Leicester will do a good job on them.
Ben Foster FC versus Villa.
I'm going for a 2-1 Villa.
I'm going to go 1-0 Villa.
Okay.
I think they're going to score and be boring.
Fair enough.
Norwich versus Liverpool.
This could be this could be in a very high scoring game for us. I'm going to go 4-1 Liverpool.
4-1, like it was in the first game of your title winning season.
Yeah, I think we'll concede. I think we'll concede, but I still think we're gonna put a few goals past them.
I'm going to be boring and go 2-0 Liverpool.
Yeah.
2-0, get the job done.
We'll take anything.
2-0, get the job done. That's what title winnings team do. Newcastle versus West Ham. Fantastic game that was last year. 3-2 to Newcastle. I'm actually going to predict that again. I'm going to go 3-2 to Newcastle.
Oh, very good. Well, nice shout. I'm going to go for a 2-2.
2-2. Nice little draw.
Yeah, nice draw.
A nice little draw. And the last game of game week 1. Biggest game of the week. Spurs versus Manchester City.
I think 3-0 City.
3-0.
Yeah, I think they'll embarrass. I think they'll embarrass Nuno.
I'll go 3-1.
3-1. Yeah. I think City will win. If Nuno can put a surprise on Pep, I'll be very, very, very surprised.
But he's done it before. He did the double over him at Wolves.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think City are too good this season.
Yeah, I think this their hardest game, I think, for a while, City. So win this, pretty much title done. Title done on game week 1.
Maybe.
But that is the end of the Talking Football podcast, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the J Cullip YouTube channel. Make sure to like and ding dong that notification bell. Make sure to follow the Talking Football podcast on Instagram and follow me on Instagram, Jacob_Cullip__. And make sure to follow on your local podcast provider. Remember, guys, you need to be yourself. You can't be no one else. I've been Jacob Cullip. This has been Miles.
Goodbye.
And yeah, goodbye.